Japan, a country praised by the world as the land of the rising sun, where inventions are ahead of their time, a unique culture, and a disciplined lifestyle that everyone admires. But behind that glamour, this country also hides strange secrets that make many people shudder. Can you believe it? Right in Japan, there is a service that is shocking the world, where men, especially older tourists, can spend the night with sex robots that are so sophisticatedly made that they are no different from real women. There, people satisfy their instincts, but also have to pay a terrible price both financially and mentally. What does Japan want to achieve by turning love into such a cold, industrial product? And what are the consequences for those who have experienced it? In today's video, we will lift the veil to see another Japan, strange, bold, and haunting. Let's get started. Number 20, a country without a capital. Do you believe that there is a world power that has no official capital? Japan is a typical example. Many people, even international tourists, when coming to the land of cherry blossoms, implicitly believe that the capital of Japan is Tokyo. But the interesting and unexpected fact is that legally, Japan does not have a capital. Historically, the concept of the capital was associated with the residence of the emperor, and accordingly, the location of the capital changed many times from Nara in the 8th century to Kyoto, the cultural center of Japan for more than 1,000 years. After the Meiji Restoration in 1888, when the emperor and the government moved to Tokyo, this place became the political and economic center and gradually became implicitly considered the capital. However, surprisingly, until now, there has not been any legal document officially recognizing Tokyo as the legal capital of Japan. This makes Japan one of the few countries in the world that has a de facto capital, not just a nominal one. And Tokyo, with a population of nearly 37 million, is not only one of the largest and most dynamic cities in the world, but also the beating heart of the world economy. Perhaps this uniqueness makes people even more curious. Does Japan really need a legal capital, or has Tokyo become the soul of this country? Number 19. Huge spending on adult films. An East Asian country like Japan, which values modesty and refinement, is leading the global adult film industry. Can you believe it? It sounds contradictory, but it is a clear fact. Japan has not only legalized the industry, it has developed it into an economic powerhouse second only to the automobile industry. According to statistics from 2025, there are about 20,000 official adult films produced in Japan every year. If online and illegal content is included, the number is up to 35,000. That means on average about 100 new adult films are released in Japan every day. These are truly staggering numbers. The growth of this industry is huge, not only in terms of quantity, but also in terms of economic value. The production costs of Japanese adult videos are much lower than Hollywood films, but their prices are by no means cheap. Each DVD costs around 3,000 to 4,000 yen, or about $20. Japanese adult films are also exported to many countries, and yes, they are produced 5 to 6 times more than in the United States. The most striking feature of all is its authenticity. All the action scenes in these videos are filmed live. Therefore, the actors must meet strict standards not only in appearance, but also in health, and must undergo thorough health checks before filming, to ensure absolute safety. Is the success of this industry due to its authenticity and expertise? Or is it because Japanese society has accepted this sensitive field as an inevitable part of the economy? Whatever you think, the fact is that this industry, while still controversial, is undeniably growing. Be honest, have you ever seen movies like this? Number 18, Yakuza, the underground but public world. Can you believe that in a country known for its discipline and order like Japan, there exists a notorious criminal organization that operates legally and openly in the middle of everyday life? When mentioning the Yakuza, most people will imagine a bloody, dangerous, and violent world. But the reality is somewhat the opposite. The Yakuza in Japan operate like a real company. They have offices, an organizational structure, a clear field of operation, and are even officially registered with the police. What is special is that despite being known as the mafia, they follow a strict code of ethics, absolutely not causing harm to ordinary people. For them, the most discreditable thing is attracting unnecessary attention from the public and the police. Instead, the Yakuza usually only appear in situations such as someone not paying at an entertainment establishment, causing a disturbance, or unfairly interfering with a weak business that needs protection. In the eyes of many, they are like ghosts that exist alongside society, rarely directly touching daily life, but present in every corner. What makes the Yakuza even more mysterious is that many of their leaders are portrayed as men of their word, keeping their promises, and sometimes becoming silent protectors of their land. Not heroes, but not simply villains either. The Yakuza exist as an entity that is both terrifying and fascinating, a unique phenomenon that cannot be compared anywhere else in the world. Number 17. The strange festival of Kanemaru Matsuri. Do you believe that there is a festival in Japan whose center is giant fertility symbols? It may sound unbelievable, but that is the Kanemaru Matsuri, the Steel Hammer Festival held on the first Sunday of April every year in Kawasaki City, Kanagawa Prefecture. In the eyes of outsiders, this may be a strange, even shocking festival, but for the Japanese it has a deep spiritual meaning, praying for fertility, happiness in marriage, and peace in life. During the festival, wooden or stone fertility symbols are carried through the streets in a joyful atmosphere accompanied by loud laughter, lively songs, and vibrant traditional dances. The scene is both solemn in the ritual and liberal in the festival, making anyone participating clearly feel the harmony between faith and worldly joy. Even the snacks, souvenirs, and candies made in this unique image attract the curiosity of international visitors, turning the festival into a unique cultural phenomenon. Interestingly, Kanemaru Matsuri is not only about praying for fertility, but is also seen as a symbol of openness and inclusion, contributing to raising awareness about sexual health, preventing sexually transmitted diseases, and supporting the LGBTQ community. That is why every year thousands of tourists from all over the world come not only to witness the uniqueness, but also to feel how the Japanese naturally blend tradition and modernity. And the question is, can such a festival appear in any other country? Or is it only in Japan, where eternal values always go hand in hand with the spirit of modern openness, that such a strange but meaningful festival can be nurtured? Number 16. Geisha is not a call girl. You may have heard many rumors about geisha, but the truth is completely different from what people think, because geisha are not simply beautiful women in kimono, but the embodiment of art sophistication and traditional Japanese philosophy of life. They always affirm, "We sell art, not our bodies," and that saying is the soul of the profession. The charm in conversation, the cleverness in the eyes, or the gentle flirting gestures are just means, but the true nature of geisha lies in the ability to perform music, dance, and behavior that makes anyone respect. This misunderstanding does not only come from foreigners, but even in Japanese history, when the Meiji Restoration broke out in 1872 and the law liberating the adult industry was issued, many officials confused geisha with prostitutes. However, over the years, the position of geisha has gradually been restored to its true meaning. They are traditional artists, preserving a pinnacle of art that goes far beyond the usual concept of material things. And to this day, that reputation is higher than ever. So is it enough to have a lot of money to meet a geisha? The answer is no, because the first barrier is economic. A 2-hour entertainment session can cost up to $800, not including room rental or food costs. But the biggest barrier lies in culture. You cannot just walk into a tea house and ask to meet a geisha, because that would be considered rude. To be welcomed, you need a close acquaintance in the industry, to introduce and guarantee as a way to prove your trustworthiness and respect for tradition. Therefore, meeting a geisha is not a simple matter of buying and selling, but a journey of understanding and appreciating spiritual values. And if you are really curious about the rituals, dances, shamisen music, or arts that have existed for hundreds of years, please continue to accompany us, because that is where you will feel part of the discreet but profound beauty that geisha carries within themselves. Number 15 is naked sushi, Japanese culture. Have you ever heard the phrase naked sushi and believed that it was a strange cultural feature of Japan? If so, the truth may surprise you, because the concept is not part of the tradition of the land of the rising sun, but is actually just an external association. In many Western countries, such as Canada, Russia, or the United States, people used to believe that nyotai mori, that is displaying sushi on the body of a naked woman, was a long-standing ritual, but even for older Japanese people, the word sounds so strange that they do not understand what it means. The spread of naked sushi actually comes from foreign restaurants and companies, which deliberately exaggerate it as a culinary art to arouse curiosity and generate profits. But for the Japanese themselves, this is a serious misunderstanding. Their culinary culture emphasizes sophistication, cleanliness, and above all, respect for food. Sushi in the Japanese mind is not only food, but also a symbol of balance, harmony, and the connection between humans and nature. Therefore, placing pieces of sushi on a naked body not only breaks that pure spirit, but also makes many Japanese people feel uncomfortable, even angry, because of the lack of hygiene and formality. When hearing the concept of naked sushi, most Japanese people only feel confused, as if a part of their culture is distorted, turned into strange entertainment for commercial purposes. That reminds us that there are cultural values that cannot be understood by just the surface, but need to be respected and listened to from its very roots. Number 14, love robot service industry. Have you ever wondered what society would be like if one day people chose machines instead of real people as their love companions? In Japan, this seemingly sci-fi fantasy is gradually becoming a reality, as some hotels have introduced a controversial service called love robots. This type of service is mainly aimed at middle-aged or older men who are lonely or looking for a new experience. The robots are designed with soft silicone skin, look exactly like humans, and even have the ability to converse thanks to artificial intelligence. To promote companies cleverly, take advantage of the image of famous cartoon characters, both evoking a sense of closeness and affirming that this is a modern, safe choice for those who seek comfort without having to worry about the complications of real relationships. However, the cost of this experience is not cheap, ranging from 10,000 to 20,000 yen, or about 1.7 to 3.5 million VND, not to mention discount packages or accompanying services, making it a privilege that is difficult for the majority to access. Behind the glitz, the appearance of love, robots is gradually creating a strong impact on traditional industries, especially workers in sensitive fields. When people choose to seek out mindless machines, the values associated with real interaction are being shaken. And the big question is this really a step forward in civilization? Or just a cold way to replace emotions with technology? When you set foot in Japan, will you be curious and brave enough to experience this service yourself? Or will you stop and think about what is the true happiness that people need? Number 13. The rate of adultery in Japan is quite high. Have you ever wondered why Japan is famous for having a low divorce rate? But that does not mean that all couples here live in perfect happiness. Behind that seemingly peaceful picture lies a complex and conflicting reality. Many couples, despite having lost their emotional connection, still choose to live under the same roof instead of going their separate ways. The underlying cause comes from economic and social pressure. Most Japanese women still take on the role of full-time housewives, financially dependent on their husbands, and the prospect of divorce means having to shoulder the entire burden of life, which not everyone is capable of. On the men's side, the biggest worry lies in the children. Japanese law only allows one party to have custody of the children, and in reality, fathers are rarely granted this right, causing many men, despite being unhappy in their marriages, to continue to maintain their connection with their children. In addition, the concept of adultery in Japan is not as strict as in many other countries. In some regions, arranged marriages for family or social benefit still exist, where duty takes precedence over love, and the emotional void is sometimes filled by outside relationships. In fact, a 2019 survey conducted by Apple Rubber Industries, a major condom manufacturer in Japan, of more than 14,000 people, found that up to 15% of women and 20.5% of men admitted to having had extramarital sex. These numbers not only expose the dark side of stability in Japanese marriage, but also make us wonder, does a marriage without divorce really mean a happy marriage? Number 12. The honor of marrying a sumo wrestler. When you think of sumo wrestlers, most people picture hulking men in simple loincloths. Their massive frame can be overwhelming for many women. Sumo wrestlers don't have the chiseled abs or charming smiles of athletes in other sports. Instead, their straight faces on the field make them look as serious as a subway train. But for Japanese women, being the wife of a sumo wrestler is a dream come true. In Japan, it's not uncommon for beautiful women, including actors, models, TV stars, and celebrities, to marry men who weigh more than 100 kilograms. They choose to live as good wives, devoted mothers, and supporters of their husbands' careers, even if it means giving up their own. Sumo is more than just a sport. In Japan, sumo is a national symbol and is deeply connected to Shinto rituals. The arena where sumo matches are held is considered more than just a stadium. It is a sacred place. Sumo wrestlers are called living gods, and must take an absolute oath to dedicate their entire lives to sumo. They are considered disciples of the gods and are respected almost unconditionally by the people. The Japanese highly value the physical and mental stamina that sumo wrestlers develop through rigorous training. In Japan, sumo is the second most popular sport after baseball. Sumo is a passionate sport enjoyed by people of all ages, genders, and social classes. Each year, sumo tournaments attract around 60 million spectators. They either attend the stadium in person or watch the matches on television. Many Japanese are willing to pay 43,000 emakar, or about 8 million VND, to watch their favorite players compete, and they are willing to spend hours watching the matches. Sumo wrestlers earn a lot of money. Their salaries are comparable to those of wealthy celebrities in other sports. During his active years, he received sponsorships from advertisers and a generous allowance from the Sumo Association. The higher the player's ranking, the more he earns. There are also bonus earnings here. Every time you win a match, you receive a bonus that is several times your base salary, and this bonus increases depending on the player's age and performance in the match. Sumo wrestlers can also earn a significant income from appearing in sumo-related advertisements. All of this adds up to a significant annual income for sumo wrestlers. For example, in the 2000s, famous sumo wrestler Asashoryu earned $1.3 million a year. Number 11, more than 700,000 recluses. Do you believe that there are people who have chosen to turn their entire lives into 4 closed walls, completely cutting off from the outside world? In Japan, they are called hikikomori, a phenomenon that has become a social problem for decades. Most of them are young people in their 30s, some even middle-aged, living with their parents, and almost never leaving their small rooms. They do not study, do not work, do not communicate, just quietly exist in the darkness of isolation. All necessities from food to personal belongings are placed by their families at the door, and gradually that room becomes their whole world. Some people live like that for decades, until their youth passes without leaving any trace in society. According to Japanese government statistics, by 2023, there will be about 1.5 million hikikomori nationwide, a number that not only reflects the loneliness of the individual, but also places a huge burden on the family and the economy. Their parents suffer from mental pressure, financial burden, and even the shame of having to hide from the community. And when these hikikomori enter middle age and their parents pass away, they face the risk of being abandoned or even becoming homeless. To break this vicious cycle, the Japanese government has introduced many support programs, from psychological counseling therapy to home-based work, to help them gradually reintegrate. However, changing the mindset of people who have buried themselves in loneliness for years is an arduous journey. The biggest question remains, how can those closed doors one day open themselves, giving them back the chance to live as part of the community? Number 10, boyfriend or girlfriend dating service. It's hard to believe that in Japan, with just one click, you can rent yourself a perfect boyfriend or girlfriend to accompany you for a few hours, as if it were a real relationship. These special services have gone beyond mere entertainment, becoming a means for people to find social connection in an increasingly busy and isolated world. Customers can choose their partners based on their preferences, from appearance, style of dress to conversation style, and the cost for a 2 to 3 hour date ranges from 5,000 to 10,000 yen, depending on specific requests. It's worth noting that although considered a remedy for loneliness, the purpose of using this service depends entirely on the agreement of both parties. Some people simply want someone to sit across from them for dinner, walk through the bustling streets together, or just need someone to listen to their inner thoughts. However, many people mistakenly believe that this is a more intimate form of relationship, while most companies clearly state in their contracts that this is strictly prohibited. This ambiguity has sparked much controversy. Some argue that the existence of this service reflects a bitter truth. The need for love and sincere connection is gradually waning in modern Japan, where work pressure and isolated lifestyles leave people with little time to nurture real relationships. On the other hand, there are opinions that this service brings positive value because it helps lonely souls find comfort, the opportunity to share, and at least once experience a feeling of intimacy, even if only for a few short hours. And that is also the painful question: can the connection created by contract replace real feelings? Number 9, a women-only nightclub. Have you ever wondered, while Japan is famous for its flashy nightclubs for men, where do women in this country seek pampering and queenly power? The answer lies in a mysterious world called host clubs for women, where young, attractive, and elegant men not only pour drinks, but also bring customers sweet moments of care and pampering. Hear from successful businesswomen stressed after a long day to women who simply want to find joy, all can enjoy the feeling of being listened to, laughing with witty stories, and even immersing themselves in the songs that the hosts sing to soothe their souls. However, behind the sparkling lights and seductive atmosphere, there is a price to pay. A night at a host club can cost between 10,000 and 50,000 yen, or 1.7 to 8.5 million Korean won. And that number skyrockets if you choose a celebrity host or use high-end services. This money is not just for fine wine or a luxurious space, but actually to buy the professionalism and psychological understanding of the hosts who are carefully trained. However, not everyone can easily enter this world without facing its dark side. Few people know that beneath the flashy exterior, many clubs are dominated by organized crime groups, the Yakuza making the experience here both seductive and dangerous. Especially for tourists who are ignorant of Japan's underground culture, they can easily get caught up in unnecessary trouble, even difficult to escape traps. And so the question arises, is such frivolous luxury worth the trade-off for safety? Is the prospect of living like a queen for a night enough to outweigh the risks? If you are considering entering this fascinating world, you should exercise caution and seek advice from those who are truly knowledgeable. Number 8, Japan is the safest country in the world. Japan has long prided itself on being one of the safest countries in the world, and in fact has one of the lowest crime rates in the world. In Japan, the concept of safety is more than just a slogan. It is a way of life that is ingrained in the daily lives of its citizens. A typical example occurred in Kagoshima, southern Japan. Because the crime rate in this area was so low, the police used a unique method to catch a thief. He left his unlocked car in a supermarket parking lot with a case of beer inside. Surprisingly, the car remained untouched for a week. And finally, after 7 days, a middle-aged man gave in to the temptation and was arrested. In addition to having a low crime rate, the Japanese are also known for their culture of caring for others and valuing manners. On the streets, you can often see people slowing down or passing each other to keep a suitable distance so as not to make each other feel threatened. This is a prime example of the meticulousness and solemnity of Japanese society. But Japan's safety does not come solely from the level of awareness of its people. Strict legal systems and high levels of social education also play an important role in creating a safe environment. The harmony of these factors makes Japan an ideal place to live for both citizens and foreign visitors. Number 7, there are no beggars in Japan. In Japan, you rarely see beggars on the streets. This is a reflection of the Japanese people's unique pride and culture, deeply rooted in their way of thinking and living. First, the face-centered nature of Japanese society is a big reason. For the Japanese, betraying their country means losing their dignity and honor. So instead of seeking sympathy from others, they choose to quietly collect cans, sleep on cardboard, or find food in convenience stores or through trash cans. This spirit is naturally passed down not only to the elderly, but also to the younger generation. Second, Japanese society has a negative view of people who try to make a living without working. Honesty and responsibility are among the most important values in Japanese culture. Begging for money without working is considered shameful and unacceptable, and even in extreme poverty, it is common to find any job possible to support oneself. Ultimately, the spirit of Bushido lives on in the Japanese way of thinking. The philosophy that it is better to live in poverty than to lose one's energy is an important principle of life that underlies Japanese society. It represents a strong will to live with dignity even in the face of adversity. Bushido is not only a moral code for samurai, but also a cultural aspect of modern Japanese life. Number 6, Japan is a country where earthquakes often occur. When you first arrive in Japan, you may experience a natural phenomenon that locals are familiar with, but foreigners may find terrifying earthquakes. Japan is one of the most earthquake-prone countries in the world, experiencing hundreds of small earthquakes each year. But most of the time, the tremors are so subtle that they are not noticeable. However, understanding and preparing for earthquakes is paramount to living in such a harsh, natural environment. When an earthquake occurs, you should take cover under a table or find a safe place. Contrary to popular belief, running outside can actually be dangerous, because from the outside it is more likely to be blocked by falling debris. Therefore, you should stay indoors in a safe place. If possible, protect your head and body with a blanket or quilt if available, and go outside after the shaking has stopped. It is also important to keep doors open and turn off the gas during an earthquake. Although earthquakes are often cited as the primary cause of disasters, the actual death toll from the shaking itself is low. Most of the damage caused by earthquakes comes from fires, collapsed buildings, and smoke inhalation. That's why careful preparation and a calm response are key to saving lives. Number 5. Highest average life expectancy in the world. Currently, the average life expectancy in Japan is about 85.03 years, slightly lower than Hong Kong's 85.29 years. But what is even more surprising is that in Japan, there are more than 30,000 people over 100 years old. What is the secret behind this amazing achievement that has amazed the world? One of the most important factors is the rapid development of the Japanese medical system over the past 60 years. Thanks to the active support of the Japanese government, modern medical services are always available, and hospitals and clinics are equipped with advanced equipment and highly skilled medical staff, helping to detect and treat even dangerous diseases early. In addition, Japanese people have a habit of regular exercise and an active lifestyle. I make an effort to stay healthy every day by practicing things like walking, cycling, and light stretching in my daily life. The government also places a significant emphasis on social welfare for the elderly, ensuring that they receive better care through healthcare programs, pension support, and free or low-cost medical services. Japan also has advanced geriatric medical research, where active research is being conducted to prevent aging and improve quality of life. Mental health as well as physical health is an important factor in Japanese society. While the Japanese have a culture of diligent work, they also effectively relieve stress through leisure activities such as meditation, tea ceremonies, and traditional festivals. In addition, the bond between communities and families also plays a big role in helping the Japanese live longer and happier lives. Number 4, Japan has a very strict garbage classification system. Have you ever been surprised by how impressively clean the streets of Japan are, even though you rarely see any cleaning staff? The secret lies in decades of good, thorough public awareness and a strict garbage sorting system. In Japan, children are thoroughly educated about environmental awareness and recycling from a young age. At school, we not only learn about garbage types, but also practice sorting and recycling ourselves during lunch or classroom activities. Small actions such as washing and recycling milk cartons or folding newspapers are done naturally and consistently and play a role in fostering environmental habits and a sense of environmental responsibility from an early age. In addition, Japan's garbage sorting system follows very specific and strict rules. Garbage is divided into 5 main categories: combustible garbage, non-combustible garbage such as food scraps and paper, recyclable garbage such as metals, glass and ceramics, cans, plastic bottles, newspapers, and bulky garbage such as furniture and large appliances, and American garbage such as batteries and chemicals. Each area has a different collection schedule, and residents must dispose of their garbage on a designated day and at a designated location, according to the designated classification. Some areas have a recycling rate of over 80%, which is very high, compared to the global average of around 30%. Garbage separation not only helps keep the environment clean, it also brings many practical benefits. Recycled materials are reused in production, significantly reducing landfill waste and raising awareness of the value of resources and the importance of the environment. These systems contribute to sustainable development and have become a source of pride for the Japanese. How much better would our living conditions be if we all had this kind of awareness? Number 3. The world's oldest company is in Japan. In fact, there is a company that has been around for over 400 years and has maintained its identity and values. Have you ever heard of it? Japan is home to one of the oldest companies in the world, Kongo Kinkumi. Founded in 578 AD, the company is more than just a business. It is a symbol of longevity and the preservation of tradition. Gongo Gumin is a company that specializes in the construction of Buddhist temples and shrines, and has built structures with deep spiritual and cultural significance in Japan. Originally a family of Korean carpenters, they were invited to build Japan's first temple, Shitanoji, in Osaka. Since then, they have been deeply involved in the construction of temples and shrines all over Japan. What makes this company special is not only its long history, but also its exquisite construction techniques imbued with craftsmanship a true reflection of the artistic talent and spirit of the Japanese people. So what is the secret to a company that has survived for so long? The core of Gongomen is not only its outstanding architectural skills, but also its ability to maintain essential values while adapting to the times for hundreds of years. Although the company merged with a large corporation in 2006, the legacy of Gongomi's work continues to this day through temples and shrines across Japan. If you are looking to experience iconic temples and Japanese culture firsthand, be sure to visit Kanzawa, also known as Little Kyoto. The city is famous for its temples and traditional gardens, especially Zelok, considered one of the 3 great gardens of Japan, and a place where you can experience the harmony between nature and spirit. Want to experience the serenity and harmony of Japanese culture firsthand? Kanazawa offers a unique opportunity not only to admire historic architecture, but also to understand how Japan preserves its traditions. From the splendor of Gongomi to the temples and gardens of Kanazawa, Japan continues to amaze the world with its seamless blend of tradition and modernity. Number 2. Why a melon in Japan can cost more than 200. These melons are more than just fruits, they carry cultural and symbolic significance in Japanese society. In Japan, high-quality fruits such as gyuri and meloni have played an important role in gift-giving culture since the Meiji period. At that time, samurai presented melons and mandarins to their generals as a sign of respect and gratitude, and this tradition continues to this day. Even today, high-quality fruits are still considered formal gifts and are used to express gratitude or commemorate important events. Can a melon really replace a sincere thank you? In Japan, giving a melon as a gift is not simply giving something to eat, but rather expressing sincerity and expressing deep gratitude to the recipient. Unlike typical mass-produced fruits, Japanese melons, especially the King Nubari variety, are grown with extreme care and tradition. Unlike mass-produced fruits, Japanese melons, especially the King Yubari variety, are grown with extreme care and tradition. Meticulous Japanese farmers ensure that each melon is as perfect as possible, both in appearance and flavor. The famous King Yubari melons from Hokkaido can cost more than $200 each, and a single high-quality Yubari melon has been sold at auctions for tens of millions of won. This clearly shows their value and rarity. Next time you have the chance to taste a Japanese melon, remember that it is more than just a fruit. It is a work of art, a living embodiment of Japanese culture and craftsmanship. Number 1. More than 80% of Japan's land area is mountainous. Did you know that more than 80% of Japan's land area is mountainous? This makes Japan not only a country of breathtaking natural beauty, but also a country of countless geological mysteries. In particular, Japan has more than 100 active volcanoes, accounting for about 10% of the world's active volcanoes. As a result, Japan is one of the most geologically active regions in the world. Japan lies on the Pacific Ring of Fire, where tectonic plates collide, creating countless volcanoes. These volcanoes are not only symbols of danger, they are also deeply rooted in Japanese culture and daily life. Mount Fuji, considered a national treasure of Japan, and Sakurajima, one of Japan's most active volcanoes, attract countless tourists and researchers. Japan is a country with majestic natural scenery and rich cultural heritage, as well as modern cities. Exploring volcanoes, visiting nature, reserves like Sanriku Fukushima National Park, or sampling local cuisine will create unforgettable experiences where nature, people, and culture blend seamlessly. Every journey has an end, so our exploration ends here. If you want to continue exploring countries like Russia, Uzbekistan, Bhutan, or small countries in Southeast Asia like Vietnam, Philippines, Laos, Thailand, visit our channel to learn interesting things in other countries. Because videos with many likes are always prioritized, if you find this video interesting, please like, leave a comment, and share them with your loved ones, so that our channel can grow, and from there, it will be the motivation for us to create more interesting and attractive videos about countries. Now goodbye, and see you again in the next videos. Sincerely thank you, and see you again.